Hello everyone, today we are going to be doing a roast through of Sumatra with the Aillio Bullet. We're just going to be doing 300 grams. I will be using the playback option. So yeah, you just go into a roast. This is roast that I've done previously that tasted good. So just go to action and playback, go to the roast, preheated already, so what the playback does is it'll basically control the roaster settings, and it'll except the ones that are it'll change the power and the fan settings to change when you change them on that previous roast, so you don't really have to do anything to it. This is a good feature for if you have a roast dialed in that you don't really have to think about it then. But if anything has changed, like the ambient temperature or the beans are a little different for some reason, or just something has changed, it won't take that into consideration, and yeah, it'll sometimes not work out for you, but normally it's alright. Other options that you can roast with are the overlay option, where you do all the adjustments yourself manually, but you can see the previous roast in the background. And then there's also the recipe mode, where you create the recipe and you tell it the parameters that you'd want the power or the fan to change in, whether it be changing fan at a certain temperature within a certain time. So that one is nice as well. I don't usually use playback or recipe very much. I usually just overlay, so I can do small adjustments. But so right now I'm doing this one, gonna end at about 210 and aim for about that time. So as you can see, it automatically changed those settings. This Sumatran is natural coffee. It's fairly unique and has that distinctive natural flavor, but it's also a variety of different varieties of coffee, so they all roast differently, which is kind of a little bit tricky to roast with, because some take on heat way faster than other varieties, and it sometimes can get an uneven roast. But this roast 5 I finally got tasting fairly good, so hopefully it'll do the same this time. Some of the modifications I did to my roaster, these, I had a friend make them with tin. He just formed them, and then we spray painted them black, drilled a hole, and used the same screw, and just, that's already in the plate here, and screwed them in. Every time you go to drop the beans into the cooling tray, you'd have beans flying out the side, and you'd have to guide them in with your hands. So this guides them into the cooling tray. It's kind of a must, I'd say, because it was super annoying I also added a little filter in between here. Just I found the fan was getting gummed up a bit, so I didn't want to clean it that much, so put a filter there. One thing I haven't changed yet, but I need to change because it's kind of annoying, is chaff gets sucked from by this fan, the cooling tray fan, and the filter in here doesn't collect it all. And what happens then is it gets through the filter and blows onto the counter, so that's annoying. So I'll need to find a way to stop that from happening, whether it be a better filter or something. But so yeah, you can see this roast has slowly came closer and closer to the last roast, which seems to happen. I'm not sure why. The small variance will go into each other. But yeah, the roaster has been amazing so far. I've been loving it. I've done probably about 250 pounds of coffee through it, and I haven't had to do anything to the roaster yet. I just cleaned it a few times, and other than that, I'm really happy with it. I usually do 750 gram batches or 300 gram batches. I find it just can handle that really easily, and I don't need to do any more. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. And that's all I gotta say about that. No troubles so far. And to do back to back, I'll quickly show you how to do it after I'm done this roast. So that's about done there. So for a back-to-back roast, first I'll see what roast I want to do. Which is 235, so you just press F1, change the preheat temperature, and then back-to-back. And it usually takes about 5 minutes for it to be ready for the next batch. So in the meantime, I take the vacuum, show you an overlay. It's ready to go. So with the overlay, we're almost done. With the overlay, it's a similar thing as the playback, except you manually do the adjustments. Which this one I'm going to be doing following the same changes, so I could have done an overlay with this, or I could have done a playback with this, but I'm just showing you how overlay works. Yeah, that's that. One thing I did notice earlier on when I first started, I was using a importer, green coffee importer, that made it sound like they were good online, but they had old beans, so the beans just didn't give you that little bit extra that made them great. They were just kind of average at best, and no matter how I roasted them, I couldn't get an amazing flavor out of them. So I was kind of disappointed in myself and the roaster for the first while, but I switched importers, and they have actually good quality green coffee that's fresh, and that completely changed the game. So I'm getting really good results with it, excellent results. Like, it tastes as good as you can get. So yeah, this roaster definitely can roast great tasting coffee. It's mostly just dialing it in and getting it so it brings out the great natural flavors. But yeah, very happy with it. So this is how I normally roast, is in playback mode, or in overlay mode, just so I can. Usually I don't have the perfect roast yet, so I'm usually doing smaller adjustments, but this one seemed to taste good, so I'm just going with it. If you have any questions or want me to do a video on any certain aspect of this roaster, I'd be happy to do that for you. So just leave it down in the comments if you have any video ideas. other than that, my process so far for dialing in the beans has just been get them in, see what the importer says about what they thought of the bean and how they would roast it, and then having that as my baseline. If they don't provide that, then just doing a generic roast, and then doing cupping. And usually I just do, I've been doing between 200 and 300 gram batches for testing normally. I did do a 100 gram batch for the Sumatra. That didn't work out. It didn't taste good at all for all the 100 gram batches I did. I don't know why, but so yeah, just do a bunch of those, cup it, see what tastes good in it, see what I would like to bring out more, and then try bring that out in the next roast, cup it again, just repeat. I do try and get an alright looking graph, but in the end it's all about the taste. So if it tastes good and the graph looks terrible, then I just say screw it and go with that good tasting coffee. So yeah, I have had coffees that the rate of rise just dips and then goes up a little bit, but it really doesn't really change my mind on how good the coffee is. It's a lot of fun though. For cleaning, I've only taken it apart and like deep cleaned it twice, or otherwise I vacuum it out quite every roast, and then I take the chaff filter out and clean that a few times. But other than that, I've taken the fan out twice to clean it, and it seems to do just fine. So this roast going for that temperature. Oops. I can usually do about 3 to 4 roasts an hour, which is definitely good enough for me. Very rarely have I done that, but I have before. So you can get like 8 bags of coffee in an hour. So that's about it for this roast.
Roasting finished. Now cooling.
So yeah, this is a must though. You need some, or else you're just holding your hands like this the whole time and it's super annoying. That's been roasting with the Aillio Bullets. Drop comments if you have any questions, and I'll try to get back to as many as possible. Thanks a lot. This video has been sponsored by WP Smith Trucking for all your hauling needs. Give them a call, 306-264-3794. Thanks a lot.